if he's solving my problem. Always complaining. We just got married. How am I always complaining? We just got married. I've not even reached that stage.
When he was now talking about demolishing, how many months were you into marriage?
This is 3 weeks. This is 3 weeks, Sissy.
I'm sorry, I don't want to laugh.
What? This is 3 weeks. That's what I'm saying. When he's saying I'm like, we just got married. I don't even have a full month, even probation. 3 months. We're not even there.
Yeah.
So fast forward, the second, I think that day when he was so angry out of nowhere, and I could not understand where is that anger coming from. So, and I felt, I'm like, Lord, that was like our mini argument.
First fight, I would
scared
say.
me because, I can't even call it a fight. It scared me to hear, excuse me,
Sorry.
bless you, for him using that tone.
Sorry, they always run in twos.
No problem. So I was like, Lord, what is this? It really put me in a very uncomfortable position, such that my son even heard. He said, Mama, why is Daddy? Why was Daddy? I'm like, it's okay, Like, it's okay, Fast forward, the following year, remember this was November, December. Now my son has to go back to school. See that one, I always say, Father, I thank you for season 2. In as much as it almost killed me, literally, but I'm grateful because now I know better. Sometimes, I believe that there are lessons that if you keep failing the test, God will still present you until you get it. So yes. I think that was the whole point of me to go to season 2 of this marriage, because I think I gave myself closure. I can't say I found closure. I gave myself closure. You will never get closure with a narcissist.
Yes,
never.
You will never. You have to learn to forgive without an I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, yes. So, Owamie, the schools, okay, now I'm prepping. Now they're saying, okay, there's a possibility children will go to school like a full week. So remember now, he's the breadwinner at that stage, because he told me he doesn't want his wife to work. He will do everything.
The biggest red flag.
Woo! Because obviously once they disable you to make you dependent on them financially.
A man that feeds you has... A man that feeds
the
you
hand that
can
feeds you, yes,
starve you.
Yes. So he told me that now, okay, with everything that's happening, we just moved to this new place. Tano must continue with online schooling. I'm like, but the online is not like it's accredited schools. He needs to be. If we go to the accredited ones, we need to pay, He said it's like it's a joke, Like, no, Tano must drop out. And
from
we
school?
left. Yes.
Well, which grade was he now?
He was in grade. Okay, now he was supposed to be doing grade 7 at that time.
So he should drop out.
So he says, no, he must drop out of school. And I thought he was joking. Because when he said it in the presence of him. We thought he was joking. And we realized, no, this guy is not joking. The cover-ups we sometimes will do as wives to cover. Because they will, remember we are taught that you don't air your dirty laundry outside. You cover your husband, So when people ask me like, what grade Tano doing, we tell them, no, he does online schooling. I'm the teacher that time. I thank God. My son is very intelligent, and I say this to the glory of God. He's very intelligent, very intelligent. But my son dropped out of school. He was not going to school for 2.5 years of the season 2. Yes. My son became, I was a housewife. He was a houseboy, if there is such a term. We did everything. Eventually, on the eve of my birthday, he told me that he's got a surprise. He bought me a house. I heard the other guest was talking about Sky City. We moved to Sky City. When we moved to Sky City, I was excited because we moved on the eve of my birthday. I'm like, wow, finally.
It's your birthday present.
So
when he bought you the house in Sky City, this was how long after the marriage?
This is, we moved to Sky City 2020. That very year that he says our son was dropped. 2021. So we moved to Sky City. Because both estates, we didn't stay for long. We moved to Sky City. I'm like, wow, finally. So, most of these bond houses, they don't come with tiles, built-ins,
You have to fit them yourself.
I'm waiting for the head of the house, like, baby, what is the plan? No. to tell you, you know, one of the things that you will discover about yourself as an empath, that we are gifted people. I heard you in one of your other podcasts saying that, you know, we are gifted people. We can do anything. You know, that's another thing that these people, they actually envy about us. What we don't know, we are gifted. I never even thought in Millionaires I could put tiles. Yes. That house, I put the tiles. Went to YouTube. How do you put tiles? We bought everything. I put tiles. My son and I, we put the built-in cupboards. Because the guys that came, it was his friends. They just built, you know, just the box of the built. They left everything. The work was not done. So I was like, I can't continue.
You had to do the hinges, and you had to do
we
the door.
Put everything, you know. We went to YouTube. The built-in cupboards. It took time because we are not skilled. Painting the house, we did everything. Gardening, we did the house. We were doing everything because now he's working. I have to be understanding that he's working. He's tired, you know. By the time he comes home, you know, I went as far as knowing how to be, because like, baby, we don't have money. We had money. I mean, that house was not expensive to pay, you know, whatever we were paying. It was not expensive. I just couldn't understand where was the rest of the money going to, you know, because even the electricity there, it was not, yes, it was prepaid. It was not that much, you know, to that degree that we could be in that financial
where
we found
you
ourselves.
are now the one putting tiles.
It led to a point whereby I was cutting his hair now. I went to Click Sport Wall machine. I'm cutting his hair. I'll show you. I was cutting the hair. I was doing
I used to also cut the hair.
Cutting the nails, filing, doing everything, facials, you name it, you know, because you want to make this the life of this. You know, he was a well-respected man in that area. You know, he was a guy, because remember now, I'm an empath. I'm not much of an extrovert. Where you leave me is where you're going to find me. So he would just randomly show up during the day. He knows where he's going to find me, you know. Show up like, hi, baby, I just came to say hi, you know. And then go, and I'm like, oh, my husband this, my husband that. Owamie, while now we're getting into the routine of things, I noticed something, that my marriage was very much sexless, you know. Whew, this is the part that I dread, but I have to speak about this. It was sexless to the point that, because I noticed that each time I'm intimate with him, I feel somehow in my holy of holies. And I remember one time I plucked the courage. I say, why when I sleep with you, this is how I feel? And obviously, a narcissist never takes accountability, you know. He's like, no, this, that. No, maybe, are you using this? Maybe it's too much soap, you know. I hate that. No, you know, you will have all kinds of excuses, not the one, you know. It got so bad. Owamie, it got so bad. At first, I thought it was a yeast infection. I would be treating yeast infection. There is nothing that is yeast infection remedy I've not used. And I remember when I had to ask a close friend of mine and say, have you ever, who's married, have you ever had such a case? Because you also don't want to now put your husband in that light.
Yes.
Because they will say, it's a sexually what, you know.
Yeah.
This is the man of God, you know. But I'm like, no, I was not like this. I went to Lancelot, I did every test. They would have picked it up,
clean.
You know? So every time, you know, the Holy of Holies, there's a serious discomfort, you know, to the point now I'm one person that, no, let me not go there. Yeah, but it was a serious discomfort. Now there was a bad smell coming down there, which I never used to have. I used to bath like nobody's business, you know. And it would bother me. It was not bothering the man of God. I'm like, no, I know myself. One of the other biggest mistake I did, you know, when I still was on my periods there. So I would have, you know, like, you know, you will have your sanitary bin, and then keeping your sanitaries there. And he was very diligent to dispose of them.
He wanted to be the one.
Yes. And you know what happened? Suddenly, I started having womb issues that I cannot describe to this day. the way my period stopped, to this day, I still am not. That's one thing I said, Lord, restore my periods, because in the manner that my periods vanished, it was not normal, you know. So the man of God then, when time continues, you know, with that, I said to him, you've got a medical aid. Please take me to the doctor, because this cannot continue. This cannot continue. I said, the problem is with you, because each time I'm intimate with you, this is what is happening to me, you know. We went to the doctor. His doctor, well, he knows the guy, because he's always, remember, he's into the Korea industry, so he's always delivering there. So I was sitting outside. I don't know what was happening. He told me, no, the doctor says no. Just give me antibiotics, I'll be fine. Blah, blah, blah. I will not lie. After he took that whole course of antibiotics, then it was okayish. Obviously, after the antibiotics went out of his system, things went back too. So I told him, I said, nope, Baba, I cannot put myself in this. I suffered for a year with this, you know. There's definitely something wrong, you know. I mean, I'm not wanting to put myself in a position whereby I say I'm better, but I know I was not promiscuous. I know I was not sleeping around. This thing is inside you. It's with you, you know. You have to go and get it checked, you know. I said, we have to start using protection. Oh, narcissists, they love protection.
Hey,
you are my wife.
You
are my wife.
Doesn't matter. You just caught him cheating today.
Yes.
Introduce protection.
Never. You are my wife. No. So yeah, like I said, they never like to use protection, you know. But I was like, at whose detriment, you know? It got to a point whereby my son was helping me to find solutions, you know. I was praying about this, like it was that thorn in the flesh, and I was so embarrassed to actually talk about this, but I was like, why? It's me who's dying. You know, when I find cure, it was so amazing. I remember I went on a fast for this, you know, because I was like, I had actually now obviously abstained, because I realized each time this happens, this is what happens to me. So I'm not going to put myself, even when we are just healing, and then, you know, the whole thing starts back. So I remember we were at Pick and Pay, and I just remember in one of my many researches, I saw something about kombucha. There's this nice juice called kombucha. And I saw that juice. I just bought it. I was like, okay, they said kombucha. I don't know what it does. I bought that, and I got my healing to this day. To this day. It was just one, to this day. And I know prayer also played a role, you know. And then, little did I know that God was also protecting me. You know, that us not being intimate. Because obviously God sees everything. He knows everything, you know. So the brother was busy. So I'll come to that. When I was sending you the thing, I mentioned about the masturbation rituals. I highlighted it on the other episode. He was such an addict, masturbation addict.
Even season 2.
Season 2 is like it was even worse. I was the wife who was forever. People, I'm sure they will say, oh, this woman loves herself. She always washed blankets. He would do the act. He was the person who liked to sleep naked. He would do the act on our marriage bed. Each time I'm going to be the one, when I enter that, you feel, I mean, you are not a child, you know.
Yeah, it's wet.
And it got so annoying, like so annoying. I'm like, Lord, the bathroom, his face cloth, you could not touch it. It was untouchable.
Was it that excessive?
It was very bad, because now when narcissists enter into this kind of rituals, some of them they go into these rituals for money, because whatever the dark kingdom, they're telling them that if you do this, remember now when you are masturbating, there is semen, your seed is going to come out. So that is an exchange for the other kingdom. You know, you are thinking that, you know, when you keep doing that, people, you know, I heard another story when I was just doing this work, that there was actually this one husband who was actually, he had in his house, actually had a house dedicated solely for that. Solely for that, because the more he trades his semen, you know, it's the more money he has, because you're donating it to the dark kingdom, you know. So, and I was thinking, at that time, obviously, I didn't know all of these things. It continued for a long time. One time, it was Sunday, we didn't go to church. The whole house, we just listened to service, and the door was, a little dog just went and like slightly ajar the door. It was around 10, 11 in the morning. And Tando, my son was standing next to me, and he's like, Mommy, what is Daddy doing? Because you could just, you know, like there was, it got
Wait, he could do it even in the presence of your son?
He was in our bedroom, so the door was slightly ajar, you know. So But I'm like thinking, he just told us he wants to go and sleep. It was very bad. Like, it was very bad. Like, very bad, you know. So, fast forward, because I need to get to the core, and then, 2021, the year we moved to the house, when we're supposed to do our 1-year anniversary, that month, November, I would be lying if I sit and said we fought. Just came back, he would just greet us and then keep quiet. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day, until I'm like, wait. My son even asked, why is Daddy not speaking to us? Is he okay? You know, when you ask him, like, baby, are you okay? Like, yeah. Like, very dismissive, like, yeah. 3rd of December, the whole month he was not speaking to us, was cold, nothing, just eat, bath, sleep, repeat. 3rd of December, it was Sunday, so I'm like, okay, he was a bit relaxed. So we're just sitting on the bed. It was still early for me to prepare to go to church. And the Holy Spirit just says to me, take his phone. And I'm just thinking, but why? I'm not that kind of a person. But we never had a rule that you can't take my phone. So I just take his phone. So at that, his other phone, his smartphone had actually fallen in water. So I was using the small ZTE phones. So I took his phone. I'm like, oh, baby, give me your phone. Without hesitation, he gave me like, no problem, give me the phone. I went through the phone. I'm like, I just want to check even the messages that I send you. Do you even save them? Because I will always tell this scripture, this declarations, this, that, you know. I'm like, you don't even send me SMSs. But one thing I need to share, you know, because maybe somebody will say this guy never failed to tell me he loves me. Every call, even if he just called to say, please don't forget to close the door. He'll say, I love you, love you. It was always, I love you, I love you, I love you. You know? Fine. After that, I go through the phone. I see, please call, yellow, this. I'm just going through the phone. I see all these messages. And then I see there's a lot of this particular name. And I'm like, so I mentioned this name. Let's just say Owamie. I'm like, who is Owamie? And then I could see now his heartbeat. He's like, Owamie. He's trying to compose himself, but you can tell that I've actually touched a nerve, you know. What can I say? Owamie is very casual. Owamie from church. I'm like, wait, Owamie, your ex? The part I didn't mention because my story is quite long. When we got married, season 2, we were going to his church.
Okay, his new church.
His new church.
Yeah.
Where they also knew the others. I didn't know that at that stage. Ne? So we were going to his church. Now, in the church, remember it was still COVID, we had to fill the forms, we do your temperature and stuff. So whenever I would get there, there's this particular lady will tell me, no, don't worry, I already know your name. And I'm thinking, how do you know me? I've never, ever set foot in this church. Not knowing that is the ex. She was the usher at that church. So, I'm like, Owamie, your ex? I'm like, okay. For me to find out, I am not that type, but that day I just decided to call. I'm like, I'm going to call with your phone. But I was smart enough to take the number, take my phone and just store it in case he grabs the phone. Because I was like, not sure what he's going to do. So I called the number and then she answered. And then, because I wanted to hear if she's going to say baby or whatever.
Something.
Like, hello. I'm like, hi, Owamie, speaking to Kimberly. Like, Kimberly, I'm like, so-and-so's wife. Like, yes. I'm like, no, don't be scared, because I could tell she was scared. I'm like, no, I just wanted to find out, like, I see that there's a communication back and forth with you and my husband, and I'm sure you're one of those people who welcome me into the church, you know. And then she's like, no, don't know, it's not what you think. Da, da, da. I had a problem with my car. Da, 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 da. And I said to her, I'm surprised that now he's a mechanic. I never knew he's a mechanic, you know. And then I said, you know what, I'm just going to bring this to their attention, because there was certain messages I saw to the attention of your pastors, you know, when I mentioned that, that's when the girl reacts. So she didn't deny anything. She asked me, can you please pass? I'm like, no, you're on speaker. He can hear you. She spoke to him, says, so, let's stop what you are doing. I told you, if your wife finds out, this is, you know. And I don't know why I was so calm. Like, I don't know why I was so calm, you know. And then afterwards, I didn't say anything to him. It's like, okay. Got ready for church. On my way to church, I called their pastor. I didn't go to their church. I went to another church. Called and I did a long voice note. This is what is happening. They called us. I'm fast forwarding. Called us. The meeting. You know, instead of taking accountability, I'm wrong, whatever, we just said, no, the devil made me do it. So casual, so casual, you know. The lady admitted everything. Yes, da da da. So I was like, Lord, but this is year one.
This
Such
you
a-
guys about to celebrate your first
Yes.
anniversary.
This is year one. Like we did not even celebrate it. You know, one of the things I need to mention when season 2, even season 1, but season 1 maybe because I used to take myself. Season 2, you will never find such a thing whereby we went out. You know that thing, the going out. It used to happen when maybe we would insist. He was a type that always wanted us to be indoors. You know, so. The lady now says, sorry, coming back, the lady confessed and said, yes, it's true. This is what has been happening. I'm going to try to wrap up. This is what has been happening, you know. I did not know how to move past that. December, now remember we're in December. So to say he's sorry, this guy, what he does, he goes, because I've been saying, you married me, you did not even, I would say jokingly, like, baby, you married me, you didn't take me for honeymoon. So he goes, he buys tickets for us to go to Durban. It's like, okay, you said you want to go to the beach. Just like he buys the tickets, we are leaving tomorrow. I'm like, but why do you do that? Why do you know I like to plan. I like to plan things, you know. Took a bus, a very cheap bus.
But I thought you were saying tickets for a flight.
You see where took a long. It was the whole day. I'm excited when I see that we're almost there. So I asked, where did you book for us? Cut a very long, painful story. That guy, his way of saying he's sorry, he took me to Durban. Durban. My son can attest to this. Durban that I spent 15 minutes. Durban that I was made to sleep on the floor. See Durban Park Station. Slept on the floor with the bags. He says, no, but this person has just gotten his 13 and 14 check. He was loaded. I know that for a fact. I'm like, but there's just next to Durban Park Station. There is what you call there's a hotel next to it. You know, like, but we can book it. No, it's expensive. We'll go to tomorrow. We'll go check for other. The following day, we went for other cheaper accommodation. We went. I found so many. I'm like this. He says, no, this thing of wasting money. I don't understand. Let's just go back to the bus service at Durban Park Station and tell them we're cancelling. We're going back. And I thought he was joking. I spent only 15 minutes at the beach, and he said we must go. I was very angry all the way from Durban to Joburg. My son was so shocked when he sees us like, are you serious? Did you really go to Durban? You left Saturday. We're back in Joburg.
You left when?
We left Friday.
You slept in the bus station.
I slept on the floor
with him.
Yes. He says no, it's too expensive.
Then why did he even take you there?
That's the question I still want to know. We slept. He says no, babe. We'll check in the morning. I slept on the floor. On the floor. Luckily, I will say luckily, there was some church thing going on at the so at least because there was a movement of people, we slept on the floor there. I was very angry. I'm like, Lord, what is this? Fast forward, year 2. Remember, I stayed 2.5 years. Year 2. Our anniversary month. I tried to force let there be a celebration. Guess what? So, I remember I was still driving my small Fiat Panda. There's a lot of things I'm just going to cut out. So I've been trusting and believing God for an SUV. I've always been praying, trusting God for a Mercedes-Benz. And I believe that God was going to bless me, you know. So a friend of mine said to me, you know what, you are overdue for a car. I want to bless you.
What? A friend? Can I be your friend? Are you still taking friends? What?
That time, she was still driving a Crete. That's how selfless she was. I'm like, are you serious? Like, no. Ever since I've known, because we've been friends for years. You've been driving this. No, it's time. I've changed cars 3 times. No? Cut long story short. The same day, which is also in October, that God blesses me with my Mercedes-Benz.
Wow.
Is the same day that guy is fired at his job. Fired. So now I have a dilemma. How do I then celebrate
your car?
Because I've been driving this car for like 18 years, you know? And then now this one is losing his job. I said, no, he's going to get his money. He's been there for long. It's fine. My son said, no, Mama, you prayed for this. Buy yourself your car. And I thank God. Listen to him. Because remember now, there's no child. I'm believing God for a second child. There's no child. There's nothing, you know.
So, but then now, every time you were intimate with him, you would have reactions and
Yes,
everything.
yes,
So
yes.
now when you were intimate with him, you would not have
Not
any
have-
reactions
yes,
anymore.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
Because remember now he had gone. I said the ultimatum. I said you must get what I don't know whatever. Yeah, because
He got
definitely
shots.
something. It was with you, But then the year that led to me leaving him, I think we were not intimate for 8 months. It is possible. I've heard of people saying we stay in this. I listened to the other podcast where you were asking the other lady. Well, I was sharing a bed with him.
8 months.
The double bed became like a 2 king size beds because you get to a point, I can't use the word detest, but you don't even want that person to touch you. Because the second year, that's when I think after God blessed me with the
Car.
I call it the car supernatural because it happened supernaturally.
Mm-hmm.
I think he couldn't understand what kind of favor, because one thing about us Owamie as empaths, we are highly favored.
Favored and blessed.
We
That's
are
true.
highly favored, highly. He couldn't understand. This particular friend of mine, she would even give me a friendship allowance
Hi,
while I
Bo.
was married. Yes,
Hi, no, I need your friend.
she would give me a
My
friendship
friend.
allowance. Buy yourself this. You're not working. Buy yourself this. And I would not hide that, And he would not take kind like, what kind of a friend? He would come bring me lunch, and she would not take now with the because now I was using I need to say this, I was using this very cheap brand of a cell phone. She was like, no, you need to get yourself a proper cell phone. So when she's like, no, you need this because you do work like this, she got me my son laptops. She got it was okay. She got some monies that were overdue to her, so she was able to bless me. So he didn't take kindly to that, but I think the car was, when they say
stroke that broke the
it
camel's
it
back.
broke the camel's back. I'm
Yeah.
telling you. So after that, he was after he was dismissed. He was like he came down to earth. Looked like it. Little did I know what this guy was planning. Little did I know. The day, okay, he said, okay, I think at that stage it was the rise of the load shedding. So I said, you know what, I think we need to get ourselves a proper gas stove, like a proper stove, 4-plate stove. So I'd seen one in Benoni. So it's like, oh, by the way, I'm also going there to sign for my monies for his provident fund. No problem. So I'm like, no, it's fine, we'll use my car. He had his car. He was still driving the smaller car, but it was having issues. So I allowed him as my husband. But let me make this clear. When Supernatural came, I made it clear to him. I said, love, Supernatural is my car. So I made it clear that my car is my car and your car is your car, because we don't drive the same. I've noted that there are certain things that will break in the hands of
Him,
his hands, yeah. So when you get your car, that will be your car, no problem. We had an understanding, it was okay, no issues. So the very day now, okay, that time, remember there was, like I mentioned, the issue, there was a lot of load shedding. So the Wi-Fi that we were currently using was Rain, so it was having connectivity issues. So we took, so what I would do, I would just take out the SIM card and put it on my portable router. So whilst we were driving, so I think it picked up signal. So my son has this tendency, I love you too, of always downloading games in our phones. And of course likes to play games as his pastime. So I think what happened was, on the day he was playing games on his father's phone, the messages started coming through. Because he had this tendency of just saying, I need to go to this place. This place is where he comes from, So, and like, no, I'm just going to see so and so. It was now, remember now he's unemployed. So now it was a regular thing. I do not have issues with it. Excuse me. So when my son then, so when the Wi-Fi picks up, the messages starts flooding my WhatsApp. And I see that my son sent me the messages with his phone, you see. So, because he was also, like now when I saw the message, my heart. So I did this. When I looked and I could see his face, because obviously he was aware of the other infidelity, because some of the other exes he knew, because remember the co-parenting time, he used to see sister so and so in the choir, sister so and so in the ushering department. So my heart, you see this one, I thought this was the one that was going to finish me, because now, even with him being married, he was going to let me give this place a different name. Let's say
Matatiele.
Matatiele. So he was joining this Matatiele dating sites where you meet girls of up to 17 years for quick sex. So Matatiele is where he comes from, inverted commas. So each time he's going to Matatiele, he's actually meeting up these girls. Yo. There was evidence, nothing that you could say, no, I was just on the site.
Yeah.
No, there was evidence, And I think I appreciated God even them. I'm like, sometimes you are wanting to force things, but I'm like, God, so you're protecting me, Remember I said by then, our marriage was very much sexless, Then there was this one whereby married people you meet, whereby you
have
you
threesomes.
kiss, not even threesomes, you kiss, your husband is there because he consented. You are kissing this one, it's like married people for kissing, but you are kissing each other's spouses, like diabolic things that are unchristian, And when we got to where we were going, I tried to compose myself. You know what? I just took everything and I said, you know what? I don't know how to move from this, So when we got home, I still had to continue, compose myself, get everything that we were there for, only to find that the guy had already gotten his monies. He's just there to sign, just for courtesy, not. He got a very beautiful lump sum payout. This was December 16 or 17, 2022. 2022, yes, 2022. You see, they say money reveals who you truly are. Some of us, we're humble because we don't have money.
That's true.
It will amplify what's already there. I saw another side of that guy. I'm just trying to cut out a lot of things because it's a long thing. This January, he went to January. He just told me that the Holy Spirit said he must go and visit my father.
How about the Holy Spirit again?
I'm like, but why? It's January, Like, don't waste my... Because I actually said to him, just, ask God to direct you. Start a business, because now you are... Remember now, he's going to 1050. Like, now, it's not going to be easy for you to get a job. Especially now you were dismissed. It's not like you resigned,
Do you know why he got dismissed?
No, it was an honest mistake. It was an honest mistake, yeah. It's just that what happened, he was supposed to report the accident. He was not the one in the wrong. It was the other guy. But now the other guy saw that nothing is happening. So he wanted to claim from the company's insurance. So that's how they found out. So because he didn't report, then that it became an issue. So it was an issue of negligence. Yeah. So January, he goes to visit my father. Goes there as a good son-in-law. Drove there. Mind you, he's going to Limpopo. How many toll gates are you going to pay going there? Splurges. Not that it's bad, spoiled my father. My father was calling me. He went with my son. Yo, I've never seen this. In January, my son went push trolleys. Remember, he's loaded. Will you believe me? They spent a week there. Would you believe me that I had to send him money to come back from Limpopo? My son said, Mom, he could not even buy us anything. We went to Marabastad. I don't know where Marabastad is.
It's in Pretoria.
Yes, to buy bananas. That's what they had, Somebody who had... Owamie. When I remember now, when the money came, this guy would leave early. By 5 a.m., the guy is gone. Come back at night. That was now a new habit. Every day, we don't see the guy. Hardly home. Just goes the bus.
Is he buying here at home?
Yes, he did. Okay, before, when the money came, he had not bought anything. So remember now, when my friend blessed me with my Mercedes, I still had change. So I used the change to buy in bulk whatever we would need. So there was not like there was this, just refilling whatever was running out. When I then intervened and asked, how much did you get? Would you believe me if I told you that what was left in that guy's account in 3.5 weeks, that guy blew the lump sum. He was left, when I intervened, I think it was 35,000 that was left.
From plus...
Let's say plus 2K, 200K. Yo. So I asked him, I said, what happened to the rest of them? Oh, I need to mention this. He went and bought a car.
Okay. Which car did he buy? Which model?
That car he bought... remember narcissists, they're always in competition with you.
Yes, they are. They are very jealous.
So he gets a car, same color as my Mercedes-Benz. I would love to think it's an SUV, But those cars are, okay, it's a French car, but I think they've discontinued them because it's very hard for you to get.
What brand?
It's a Citroen.
Okay.
It's a Citroen what? It's a Citroen something. Yes.
Okay, okay.
Very ugly car. Very ugly car. Very ugly.
Citroen, if you're watching, we are sorry.
I'm sorry, Citroen, but that car is very ugly.
Okay.
The truth shall set you free. Because even his friends were like, "What of all cars? Why
You
this
went
car?"
for this one.
I mean,
He
everybody.
saw color and
it was
body.
yes, it was that car that you would, when you want to discuss, like, no, the one that drives, because he's the only one that
The
drives
ugly.
that. Yes, So he went and got that. Oh Lord, I mean. Anyway, so he didn't tell me. I'm just because that one is a story in its own. Fast forwarding, Owamie. After that, when he came back from my father, it was January 26th. I think I remember in church we had the fasting. We just broken the fast. We were okay even after church. We went to church. I offered, I'm gonna take you out, guys, for lunch, which was this was not something that used to happen for us, After that, we went home. Monday, as usual, my life went to pray, come back. He wakes up. Hi, morning, baby. Keeps quiet. How, love? I'm greeting you. Keeps quiet. This is 26th January. How, baby? Are you okay? And you could hear that the person doesn't say anything. Okay, I leave him. Our son wakes up. Greeting, morning, mommy, morning, daddy. Keeps quiet. Sitting there, just sitting on that couch, not saying anything. Then he starts, prepares, he goes, as usual, He was a good community leader, highly respected in the community, highly respected. This carried on and on and on and on until after 10 weeks, I will show you, I've got proof of what I'm saying. This guy is not talking to us. We didn't fight, we didn't quarrel.
For 10 weeks?
You're still saying 10 weeks. I think for me, the straw that broke the camel's head. After 3.5 months of non-communication, I think at that stage I had reached out to his pastor friends. I had reached out to anybody that I could reach out and say, guys, help. I don't understand. It doesn't, like, if I, even when we married season 2, he said it. He said, we were together. It's not that she did anything wrong. He said it. It's not that she did anything wrong. It was just me, So 3.5 months, I remember when it was April, I was going to the Easter conference. I opened my mouth. I'm like, I'm going to celebrate the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus. And this person, how will I say, oh, uvukile, he's risen, I confronted him. I called him so many times, but eventually answered. I'm like, can I talk to you? Very humbly, so can I talk to you when I come back from church? Because at that stage, I had found, thank God for TikTok, I had found this other specialist, who somehow was able to decode what was happening in my marriage, She helped me a great deal. And I think just by reading the comments, that's what made me realize that, oh my God, this is wrong in all, because when she did a follow-up, I started mentioning there's financial abuse in my marriage. There's this abuse. There's this, that, besides the gaslighting, stonewalling is a very, very bad thing, because you're invalidating the person. How do you move forward? You're in a marriage. Communication is very key, How do you move forward if you don't even know what the other person
what
is
the problem is,
So when I came back from church, I said, no, it's fine, I'll drive. We went to the mall, Sky City Mall. Just found a nice quiet spot there, and I said that I did not come from a point of judging, because I already now understand that, okay, this is what is happening. I said, you know what, babe, I think you need to get help. That's how I felt. Like, I think you need to get help, because I'm sure you're thinking I'm going to ask you this, that. I'm like, the 3.5 months, the damage that it has done for our marriage, it is irreversible and irreparable. I just pray that you get help, because this is not right. You can't now, when if Owamie was a case whereby there was a disagreement or something, I would understand, but there's no such a thing. You just decide to do that, even for your son, There are many parts I'm skipping out because it's a story in its own, but the abuse was so bad. My son tried to commit suicide, ran away from home 3 times, and I think this one, for me, was it, when my son mysteriously fell sick. It's a story for another day, very long story. Mysteriously fell sick, and the guy knew that it was going to happen, because that day he decided to be home. He was on his phone the whole day, just waiting, watching. got to a point where my son was in ICU, in hospital, admitted. I sent him a WhatsApp. I told him, our son has been admitted. Because I did not know. He was dying. I'm going to be very open and sincere. It's a very long story. Don't want to cry, mess up my makeup. So, yeah, but it was very bad. It was really, really bad. God really carried me in that season. It was very bad. It was very bad because I later found out that it was actually going to be a ritual. When I was now deciding, because it's not easy to live a narcissistic abuse, whether it's a marriage or yes, there are mothers, it's not easy. Owamie, that side of him that he showed, that your son was there, he watched, he never moved, he never did anything. And if he's watching, he knows I'm telling the truth. But anyway, never did anything. Watch me, and I had to drive from Sky City to Jameson Hospital. My son, he was dying. I mean this when he asked me, he says, "Mommy, please pray." And I said to God, "Lord, I covenanted with you. You give me this child, I give him back to you. You can't take him now, not like this." Because the first thing was like, okay, if my son dies, so how am I going to move forward with this person? Because he became, it's so amazing that our children now become our friends, our confidant, I'm like, how will I move forward? But I know, yes, by God's grace I would have, but I was like asking God, no, don't take him now, Owamie, as the brother is busy up and down with whatever, I reached a point, I said, you know what, season 1, I stayed after having seen ABCD. What other color do I want to see? What else am I still waiting for? Do you know that this guy, the pastor, went and had an affair? I am not going to count the church ones. That one I've been with our neighbor. See, that lady is truly, as you said, they cheat down. It's a mama, and even I remember my son's friends like, "What's wrong with your father? Your mother is a nice," they were saying all these things, And when a narcissist, let me just explain this, when a narcissist cheats with the person that is below you, it's them affirming to themselves that this is what I deserve. They know they don't deserve, because once they have you, you are not even in their league.
Yes,
that's why.
True.
Yes. So when this is how they
this
view
is their
themselves.
level.
That is
they're
their
going
level.
to their level.
Exactly, they're going to their level. So for you, you were like the I don't know.
You were a unicorn, a rare breed.
A rare breed.
Like it's like, wow, I can't believe I even pulled, this type of a person.
When I started, remember I said the other episode, I've been good girl. I'm still a good girl. I still love Jesus. Yet I had to find my voice, because, sometimes we put on these titles, these different heads. I'm a mother. What does it mean? But who is Kimberly besides being a mother? Who is Kimberly besides being a businesswoman? Who is, I had to find my voice, because I started planning my exit plan, which was not easy. Not easy, not because he knew about it, but because I can tell you this was a spiritual thing. Because it's like when you take one step forward, there will be so many things that will be fighting you. You know that something is fighting you. Owamie, God gave me the strength. I told God, I said, Lord, you see, I tried. I gave it my all. You know my heart. I mean, the Bible says God searches our hearts. He knows our intents. You know my heart. I was genuine with this guy. I loved this guy. I honored this guy, But it's not working. I'm not going to force something that I see. It's not going to work, I wanted my happily ever after. It's not going to happen,
Yeah.
So when I started planning, my son, in fact, it's when after he tried to escape, I think the 3rd time, he said, "Mama, let's go." And I knew what he meant. I'm like, I'm ready. We started planning, because now we could not even have conversations. We would always whisper when we're talking, because he would pretend like he's out, because he wanted to. They know when you want to leave. Narcissists,
Yes.
they know. They can pick it up that when you want to be the one that they know. So we had to be very smart. So I told him, I said, I'm going to play the player. I'm going to play the player. So I said, you know what? I was still cooking. I was still washing. I was still doing, the only thing that I was not doing is being intimate with him. So I said, you know what? I will enforce the conversation, because I want him to trust me again, So when that was going on, one time he came back, he said to us, not even to me, he said, "When are you guys leaving?" They knew his surname wants to move in. I'm not lying. My son cannot. And I said, oh, what did you say?
But then now, because I remember he wanted to demolish your mother's house.
Yes.
Did he end up demolishing
No.
Okay.
No. He
Okay,
didn't.
that's
He
good.
didn't.
What?
So I said, what did you say? He says, yeah, because when are you moving out, I'm like, and I was so casual about it. I'm like, oh, tell her, let me just enjoy my tenure. Her time will come. And then she will come in. And I thought he was joking. He did a follow-up after some time. When are you guys moving? I'm like, oh. And then I saw, because also I was busy with my exit plan. One of the things I think that helped me, besides prayer and also reaching out to somebody you can trust, because you cannot just say this to anybody. There will be a lot of people that will discourage you.
That's true.
But writing everything down, and I would just present everything to God. Lord, I didn't have one brains, but Lord, you will make a way. I promise you, God does make a way. The day everything started coming together, we had already viewed that friend of mine. I would go to her office, use her Wi-Fi, check. Okay, find, go view places. And then we found a place, and then I was like, it's time. So I remember that he didn't think it was going to happen, because he knows, remember another thing, they also isolate you from other people, so you are solely dependent on them. So when I told him, I remember the morning, I said to him, I said, so remember you asked me, when are we moving so that the new missus can come in? I'm like, oh, it's today. Can just tell her that she must just prepare, because by the end of the day we should ask. He's like, sorry? I'm like, you heard me. He came back. Like, what did you say? I'm like, no, we're leaving. Respectfully. No fight, no drama. We are not people of drama, And I think he thought I was joking. I called the transport guy. I told him that, Mr. So-and-so, please pick us up at 10. We are ready. I told my son, I said, now it's time for the truth to come out. We've been, that time, the 3.5 months of him not talking to us, we're not going outside. I stopped being that wife who was cleaning the yard, doing the garden. It was because now everybody knows my husband is cheating with this,
the neighbor,
and everybody's talking. How everybody's talking. And
it's such a shame that the wife has to carry the shame of the husband's shameful acts. It's very sad.
It was not good at all. So we took out everything out, and everybody was watching what is happening. He was there while we were taking. He was there watching, and I think when now the pressure that he got. Remember, now I'm going to inflict a narcissist injury by now exposing the facade that he had maintained.
She's under my thumb. She can never. I'm in control.
And I was still asking, why are you still wearing your wedding ring? Because the second had already taken it out, So cut a long story short, we moved. I even called him when we did the first load. I'm like, we just did the first load. We'll do the second load. No, okay. We were very civil till we were done. I told him, I said, I'm sorry. I wish I could have cleaned the house. But I didn't have the energy to clean the house, because we still need to go and prepare. Days after, we get a call. Remember, I told you I reached out to his pastor friends and some of his friends. I said, like, hey, this guy is going to kill himself if we don't move back. I said, Owamie, I need to mention this. The day that we were supposed to move out, we actually shifted it maybe 2 or 3 days. See, that 2-3 days, I found my voice. I went to him. I said, you know what? For the longest time, I've been this good girl. For the longest time, I've tolerated A, B, C, D. I don't swear, I told you. I said, you know what? I just realized you are very empty. I actually feel sorry for you. I said, look at you. Somebody will come and knock here and they say there's an issue. You are the first to run there. You are so eager to solve other problems. You can't even solve your problem. I told him, I said, you know what? I feel sorry for you. I'm finding my voice. I said, you know what? This time, when I leave, it's not going to be like season 1. I'm not going to wait 7 years to divorce you. I'm going to the courts. I told him, I said, don't try to call me. Because whatever we had, it ends here. Because one of the hardest things is to realize with everything was just a facade. It was never real. You were genuine. You were very genuine, but it was never real. Fast forward, we moved on. It was very difficult. And I had to, remember I had another car. So I sold the other small car. Because obviously there was rent and. I'm still not 100% there. But mind you, one thing as I wrap up, I want to just, say to somebody, I filed for divorce. I filed for divorce. I filed for divorce. The only thing that's left now is for the sheriff to serve it. Second time around, filed for divorce. And I did not even hesitate this time around. I'm like, you know what? I hate divorce, but this is not of God. You cannot now you know what, I actually also learned a lesson that, second time around, it was not even because God. Sometimes it's the memories that you had. Remember the love bombing? It will make you feel like nobody understands you better without this person, this. So it was never real. So I filed for divorce. I'm just waiting for the sheriff to serve him and then get a court date and get my divorce. And in closing, as I said, I did not come here to shame him. Narcissists do that. They like to smear you and but this is my story. Somebody may be dying out there feeling like, what, nobody understands, because even when I went to our pastor, they still said, no ways, that guy, never. And people, you would feel like, because the way they do this thing, you will feel like you are the one. You will even start questioning yourself, wait, you know what happened? You cannot even, you know what happened. That's true. Know what you went through. You know what you felt, So there's no way that you can just be making this up. What is the end gain of it, So I'm here sitting here saying, yes, I went through divorce twice. And even if the Christian community, they can say whatever. But at the end of the day, I have only one person and one person to account to. That is God. If God can say, welcome people who were prostitutes, welcome people who did A, B, C, D. So who am I for God not to forgive me, And one thing I'm grateful to God as I end is I thank God that God didn't bless me with a child. A human child, but give me this one.
Yeah, another one. Because now it would have been a lot. You see, crying for a blessing you do not know was gonna turn sour. Yes. I think that obviously as we're finishing, because you have said a mouthful. I just have the question to say. At first, we thought that his mother was doing something because he would just abruptly leave and everything. But if you look at season 2, he still would do the same. As much as he wouldn't leave, but he would just be quiet for 3 months and everything. Do you think that the assumption that the mother was doing something was really there? Or this has just been who this man has been?
Lovely question. The part of the mother, it's a story on its own. Very spiritual. Very deep spiritual. I'm not saying he didn't, the mother didn't, she didn't rather. Yet, narcissists, okay, like I said, a mother who is a narcissist, they will groom their child to be a narcissist.
That is very true. That is so true. And especially sons.
Yes.
I don't know why they do that.
And most narcissistic mothers, remember they were hurt by their husbands.
They view their sons as their husbands. So they will fight you for that. For that man, like, he's supposed to be husbands with.
Thank you.
Hey, guys,
the one that shocked me of late when I was just busy with the work is to discover that some narcissistic mothers, they groom their children sexually. They do sleep with them. Yes, they do. They do.
Jonah, can I say something very private? Oh my gosh, why am I sharing this? I remember like when I was married and we were staying at my in-laws' house, anytime the bed would do like, I would hear her feet like she would do this.
I believe you.
She would like that dragging of feet so that you actually hear she's here, by the door. And I'm like, and she had thought that we should have the room right next to them. And I refused. I was like, there's no way. So we had to be using the floor, guys, because any movement from the bed, the dragging of the feet is there, So all this stuff that you're really saying, it's very sad. But it's things that actually do happen. What advice would you give a woman that is thinking of going back for season 2? Yeah,
don't go back.
Believe him that first time.
Run. Don't go back. You never go back, because many a time season 2 is maybe you are still in love with the memories. It's not real. Don't go. There's a reason why you left the first place.
Yes, that is true.
There is a reason, because sometimes there's this thing that once we start healing, you forget. You remember when the iron
trauma,
the hot water bent you.
Yeah,
you don't go back, because usually second time around, they will finish you off. They will finish the work that they couldn't finish off the first time. Don't go back, in as much as, yes, we are forgiving people and stuff, sometimes it's good to forgive and not put yourself in that position whereby you will be used in that position whereby, you know, don't go back, because sometimes choose your mental health, choose you know, now I'm always saying that my peace has a price tag, you know. Yes, marriage is beautiful, but there are people that are just not made for marriage. There are people that are just there for their demonic agendas. There are people that are just there for their own selfish reasons, you know, who view people as something to use. You know, when a narcissist says I love you, they don't mean I love you, they say I'll enjoy using you.
Yes.
When the narcissist says I
enjoy
miss
your
you,
energy.
yes, they want your energy. They want to harvest your energy. So don't go back, you know, don't go back.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. We're going to go with them fast.
Okay.
Should be a yes or no answer.
All right, I'm
okay.
ready.
Yeah, so that we can actually wrap up.
Yeah.
Is he still staying in the house that you guys in Stan City?
Sky City.
Sky City, sorry.
Well, yes, because on my divorce, that's the address I put. I believe he is. Yes.
Okay. Does he still have a relationship with his son?
The son does not want to have a relationship with him. He's 16 now, so yeah. But he does call. My son does call because I blocked him on all social media platforms. Everywhere.
Okay. What other question did I want? Because I had questions that were in my mind that I'm like, okay, so that we can fully wrap up. Okay. In the very beginning, when he started to come approach you, you said that you wanted to wait for God to tell you if he's the one.
I love that question. Yes.
Did God actually tell you this man was the one?
God did not say anything.
He was quiet because he was like, my child.
God, I don't want to sugela my father. God did not say anything.
Wow. Do you regret not marrying the Nigerian guy?
No, I don't.
Do you still have a relationship with him?
No, I blocked him still. Yes, I blocked him.
Are you open to being in a relationship with someone else now?
No.
But you deserve it. The only form of love from a man that you've experienced, like a spouse, is only this guy, and that has just been a series of to hell and back.
No. Another person said to me, "Don't close yourself." But right now, no. I think I'm still happy with my healing journey, serving Jesus, you know, and getting other people get their help they need. But for now, no.
You said people laughed at you the first time. Did they still laugh at you again the second time?
I'm sure they will. But I don't care.
You don't care?
Nah, I don't care.
How are you happy right now?
I'm content right now. I'm at peace right now. I'm not trying to, I'm at peace right now. You know, knowing that I chose myself. You know, each time, you know, when I did, it was my 1 year post leaving the narcissist in May of this year. And when I look back, I'm like, God, it can only be you. It can only be you. You know, I think the second time around, the reason I did not stay longer is because, you see, that fear of the unknown that I had season 1.
You didn't have
I didn't have, because I saw that, no, actually, it's going to be hard, but the road, you can walk the road.
Have you forgiven yourself?
I have. It took a year to do that because I blamed myself for the most part. Oh, God, I forgave myself. I had to give myself that gift. That it was not about me. It was, there's nothing wrong with me. Absolutely nothing wrong with me.
Did your son ever catch up when it came to school? Because there was a time that he wasn't going to school.
Yes. So to the glory of God, I'm happy to say my son was reintegrated to school. That's the promise I made him when we were planning the exit. So because thank God, remember that me helping him to study, even if it was not an accredited school, it's okay, baby. So they assessed him, we found a school, assessed him. He did not even have to go and do the 2 years that he just went to grade 10. So he's doing well. He got his top achiever. This year. He's playing rugby. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of him. I can just say thank you, Jesus. Yeah.
Okay. Did you end up getting a job?
Lovely. So I'm not working for someone. So I've got many businesses besides makeup. So I said, you know what? Pride is not going to put that
food
coffee that I love.
Yeah, the coffee, not even food.
And the chocolate that I love. So, you know, I was praying, Lord, what do I... Because I had to also take a sabbatical, even from friends and other things, you know, just to find who is Kimberly. So I started a business. I love talking about this business. It's a business that made me even taking the step to come on this platform to say, you know what, pride aside. Started a business at the taxi rank. I sell tea, coffee, cappuccinos, all kinds of coffees you find, and sandwiches.
Wow.
And I remember when I started, my son's like, "Are you sure?" I'm like, what other way to put myself out there? You know, because one of the things I had to overcome is that what will people say? So in the taxi rank, everybody sees you. So I started my business. It brings me so much joy to know I can be able to afford A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
Even Owamie, let me say, because you know, restoration is not instant; it's gradual. You know,
it is.
Even with that, I don't shy away. I said I drive a Mercedes Benz. People look at me. Why is she selling tea, driving a Mercedes Benz? I'm not going to look like my sister. Exactly, you know.
Yeah.
If I go to the garage and I put diesel of 50 rands, it gives me 2 liters. It takes me from point A to point B. Some people will look at it like, but why? You know your story. You don't need to prove yourself to anybody.
What a powerful message.
Amen.
Something is making tea sandwiches.
Yes.
And I am so proud of you.
Thank
and you embody
Yes.
successfully divorced down to the T, because there are people who think that I'm a billionaire and that's why I'm saying successful divorce. And I've said it. Once you've gone through a divorce, you know what real success is. It's more than what money is. Trust and believe. It's your freedom. It's who you are. It's your new way of thinking. It's the fact that you are free. Like, you are guys, I don't want to preach. But anyway, thank you so much. Thank you so much for actually joining us. Ninjas, thank you guys so much for, for watching this episode. I am really proud of you.
Thank you.
I really honestly am. I think my last question before we leave, because this one I wanted to know.
Yeah.
How did you become so religious if your mother was not? Or is it because you were raised by your aunts and they also were? God just called you.
God just called me. I'm not even religious. I'm a Christian.
Sorry. I can't differentiate.
Okay,
I don't know how to differentiate those, Yeah, but I mean, like, how did you become a stern Christian?
Yeah. I think my encounters with Jesus after I gave my life to Jesus at the age of 9 years.
Wow.
Yeah, that has made me focus because, excuse me, I encountered God. So I think that has helped me in my journey with God, that no matter the challenges I've faced, it has kept me to stern and firmly rooted in Christ. Yeah, because I know, yes, challenges will come.
Yeah.
And also when you now know that as a chosen person, you are not a normal person.
Yeah.
The kind of challenges, other people will have just one. You have this, that. But you know what? Like they say, God gives his... I don't like that saying.
That
but
his soul just
God
the
will never test
No,
us
I'm
beyond
not
what
God's
you're able
strongest
to.
soldier. Dear God, it's soft life for me.
Excuse me.
But okay, no, I do get it. And when I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for joining us in this episode. Please do make sure that you comment down below. What did you learn from this episode? And if you did not watch the episode of To Hell and Back, where she was Kimberly was our guest, please make sure that you go and you also watch it. But this was such a wholesome, and I'm so happy that you're actually where you are right now. And thank you for coming in and sharing so much with us. And I love that you are someone that, as we've said, you are a stern Christian. However, you are actually saying that for you to be a stern Christian does not mean you need to sit and stay for abuse. Abuse is abuse. Amen. You can leave. You understand? But anyway, I love you, ninjas. Stay blessed. And of course, we'll see you guys in our next upload. Mwah. Bye.